Hello, Radiant Souls. In this video, we uncovered 10 sacred spiritual tests that only the chosen ones can truly pass. From the test of isolation to the test of unconditional love, each challenge is not punishment, but divine preparation. These tests are designed to awaken your soul, refine your spirit, and lead you to embody your highest calling. As you walk the path of the chosen, remember, you weren't selected for ease, but for transformation. The universe has entrusted you with a mission greater than comfort. It's calling you to rise in wisdom, strength, and love. Subscribe now and join a community of awakened souls rising into purpose. The tests may be hard, but you were born to pass them. The essence of being a chosen one. What does it truly mean to be a chosen one? This question resonates deeply in the hearts of those who feel an undeniable pull toward a higher purpose. It isn't about privilege or perfection. It's about purpose. To be chosen is to embark on a profound spiritual journey, one that is both transformative and demanding. Chosen ones are often marked from an early age. Maybe you've always sensed you were different, that you didn't quite fit into the roles society expects. Perhaps you've questioned your place in the world, or felt that you were destined for something extraordinary. This feeling isn't mere fantasy. It is the divine whisper of your higher calling. Being chosen doesn't guarantee an easier life. In fact, the path is often more difficult. Your burdens may seem heavier, your challenges more intense, your questions deeper. But this isn't punishment. These hardships are part of your soul's curriculum, designed to awaken the dormant gifts within you. Each trial is a step forward, drawing you closer to your true purpose. At the heart of being chosen lies a deep connection to the divine. This connection isn't confined to religion or doctrine. It's an inner knowing, a quiet bond with something far greater than yourself. It's a still, persistent voice that whispers, "You are here for a reason," and that reason often extends beyond your personal growth. It includes uplifting those around you. Chosen ones are often called to be healers, teachers, or guides, those who help others find their path to awakening. But let's be clear, being chosen isn't about being superior. It's about being willing to grow, to confront the shadows both within and around you, to evolve into your highest self. The true essence of being a chosen one is this: you were not chosen because you are perfect, but because you are ready to transcend your imperfections. The path is not easy, but it is sacred. And if you're here, reading or hearing this now, it means you're ready to begin walking that path. Test 1. The test of isolation. Embracing solitude as a sacred initiation for the chosen ones. One of the first and most profound spiritual trials that every chosen one must endure is the test of isolation. It often feels as though the universe deliberately separates you from everything and everyone familiar, leaving you alone with nothing but your thoughts and the quiet echoes of your soul. Initially, this experience can feel harsh, even cruel. You may find yourself asking, "Why me? Why have I been excluded, forgotten, or abandoned?" But this is not punishment. It is preparation. Isolation is the sacred furnace where chosen ones are refined. It strips away the noise and distractions, forcing you to confront your true self and uncover deeper truths. When surrounded by constant external stimulation, be it people, routines, or societal pressures, it's easy to lose touch with your own inner voice. The test of isolation peels back those layers, leaving you face to face with your unfiltered essence. This is where your spiritual journey truly begins. This test can manifest in different forms. You might experience physical isolation as relationships dissolve or opportunities vanish. Or you might feel emotionally alone, even when surrounded by others, as though no one genuinely understands you. Regardless of how it appears, the intention behind it is the same: to guide you inward. In the silence of solitude, the voice of the divine speaks most clearly. So how do you pass this test? By surrendering to the solitude rather than resisting it. Recognize that this period is a sacred invitation to reconnect with your higher self and with the divine. Use this time to deepen your spiritual practices, whether through meditation, journaling, prayer, or reflection. Consider who you are apart from the labels and expectations society has placed upon you. Above all, trust the process. While the isolation may feel unending, it is only temporary. And when you emerge, you will do so with greater clarity, purpose, and inner strength. Remember, chosen ones are not set apart to be diminished. They are set apart to rise. Isolation is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of your transformation. When you fully embrace this test, you demonstrate to the universe and to yourself that you are ready for the next chapter of your spiritual awakening. Test 2. The Test of Betrayal. A divine initiation into strength, wisdom, and inner truth. The test of betrayal is one of the most excruciating spiritual trials a chosen one can face. It strikes at the heart of trust, shaking the very foundation of your relationships, and sometimes even your faith in life itself. Betrayal is more than emotional pain. It cuts deep, leaving behind wounds that cause you to question whom you can trust and whether it's safe to open your heart again. Yet as agonizing as it is, betrayal is also a profound spiritual teacher, and the lessons it offers are essential to your growth. Betrayal often comes from those closest to you, friends, family members, or trusted partners. The very people in whom you placed your deepest faith are the ones who let you down, leaving you reeling with a sense of abandonment and loss. At times, you may even feel betrayed by life itself or by the divine, especially when your world crumbles despite your unwavering dedication to your spiritual path. It can feel like the universe has turned its back on you. But here's the deeper truth. Betrayal is not designed to destroy you. It is meant to awaken you. This test compels you to look inward, to rebuild your foundation of trust, not in others, but in yourself and in your sacred connection to the divine. It teaches you to see through illusions, to distinguish truth from deception, and to find your strength not in the approval of others, but in your own divine center. So how do you pass this test? First, understand that betrayal is never a reflection of your worth. It is a catalyst for your evolution. The pain you feel is valid and real, but it is also an invitation to deeper strength and clarity. Begin by allowing yourself to grieve. Let the sorrow come. Feel the heartbreak, but do not let it define you. Next, embrace the power of forgiveness. Forgiveness does not mean excusing the betrayal or pretending it never happened. It means releasing the weight of resentment so that it no longer binds your spirit. You forgive not to liberate the one who hurt you, but to liberate yourself. Finally, trust again, but with wisdom. Let the experience of betrayal refine your discernment and sharpen your intuition. From this pain will rise a new clarity, one that helps you recognize which people and paths truly align with your higher purpose. Remember, betrayal is not the end of your story. It is a sacred initiation. It breaks you open so that you can rebuild, not weaker but stronger, not bitter but wiser, not guarded but guided. When you embrace the lessons of this test, you will rise with a resilience that cannot be shaken. Test 3. The test of repeated patterns, breaking free from cycles and embracing transformation. Have you ever found yourself trapped in the same painful cycle, reliving familiar situations that bring you frustration, heartache, or disappointment? It might feel as though life is playing a cruel joke, but this isn't a coincidence. This is the test of repeated patterns, a spiritual challenge uniquely designed to highlight the lessons you have not yet fully learned. For chosen ones, these recurring situations are not punishments. They are mirrors, reflecting unresolved wounds, limiting beliefs, and ingrained behaviors that still need healing and transformation. These patterns often manifest in relationships, career paths, or personal habits. You might notice a tendency to fall into the same toxic dynamics with others, feel stuck in unfulfilling jobs that drain your energy, or repeatedly struggle with inner conflicts like fear, insecurity, or self-doubt. It can feel like no matter how hard you try, you end up back in the same emotional or situational space. Why does this happen? Because the universe, in its wisdom, continues to present the same lesson until it is truly integrated and mastered. The purpose of this test is both simple and profound, to help you identify and release the cycles that no longer serve your growth. These recurring patterns are spiritual alarm clocks, loud, persistent reminders calling your attention to the areas within you that need to evolve. They are not meant to break you, but to break open the shell of stagnation and reveal the strength within. So, how do you pass this test? The first step is self-awareness. Begin by observing the recurring themes in your life. What situations continue to repeat? How do you consistently react? Rather than blaming external factors, turn inward. Ask yourself, what is this experience trying to teach me? What part of me is being invited to grow? The second step is to consciously change your response. Patterns persist because we meet them with the same reaction, again and again. To break the cycle, you must choose differently. This could mean setting firmer boundaries, abandoning old habits, walking away from familiar dysfunction, or facing long-avoided fears. Growth is often uncomfortable, but it is within that discomfort that your liberation begins. Finally, trust that these patterns are not signs of failure. They are sacred lessons woven into your soul's curriculum. They appear when you are ready to transcend them, when you meet them with courage, insight, and a willingness to evolve. You show the universe that you are prepared for the next level of your spiritual journey. The test of repeated patterns is a divine invitation to rise beyond the cycles of your past. By passing it, you step into a new paradigm, one marked by freedom, alignment, and a deep sense of purpose. Test 4. The test of humility, surrendering the ego and embracing divine alignment. The test of humility is among the most deeply transformative trials a chosen one will ever encounter. It is not about being humiliated or feeling insignificant. Rather, it's about recognizing your true place within the vast, intricate design of the divine and letting go of the ego's need to control. This test often feels like life suddenly taking something away, stripping you of certainty, and compelling you to face your limitations. In doing so, it reminds you that you are not the source of power, but a sacred vessel through which it flows. Humility is not weakness, nor is it self-denial. It is a sacred balance, an awareness that while you are a unique and irreplaceable part of creation, you are still just one element of a far greater whole. Many chosen ones are blessed with extraordinary strength, vision, or talents. But without humility, these gifts can inflate the ego, clouding judgment and distorting purpose. That is when the universe intervenes, with loving discipline, to remind you, you are powerful, yes, but you are not the origin of that power. This test frequently shows up as loss, failure, or intense vulnerability. It may come in the form of losing a role or relationship you valued, a sudden collapse of plans, or a deep internal reckoning. It can feel like everything is falling apart, but what's truly happening is that all the excess, pride, attachments, illusions, is being peeled away. What remains is your essence, the truth of who you are beneath all titles and identities. How do you pass the test of humility? First, surrender to it. Let go of the need to be in control, the need to always be right, or to always have the answers. Surrender does not mean giving up. It means trusting the divine rhythm of life. Know that your soul's journey is unfolding with precision. even when you can't see the full picture. Every success and every setback is part of something greater than your current understanding. Next, cultivate gratitude. Even in hardship, thank the universe for the hidden blessings and growth it brings. Gratitude softens resistance. It diffuses ego and allows clarity and peace to emerge. When you can be grateful not just for what feels good, but also for what challenges you, you deepen your spiritual maturity. Finally, shift your focus from self to service. Humility thrives when you begin to ask not, "What can I gain?" but "How can I give?" Consider how your experiences, gifts, and wisdom can uplift others. Use your influence, not for validation, but for contribution. This alignment with service roots you in your divine mission and keeps your ego in check. The test of humility calls you to step away from the throne of self-importance and take your place as a conscious co-creator with the divine. When you pass this test, you unlock a deeper, more authentic power, one born not of control, but of surrender. And in that surrender, you find your truest strength. Test 5. The test of patience, trusting divine timing in the stillness. The test of patience is a subtle yet deeply transformative challenge that every chosen one must face. It often feels like being stuck in a waiting room, watching your dreams, plans, or progress linger in limbo. The more you try to force things forward, the more life seems to resist. But this isn't about denying you what you desire. It's about teaching you to release the illusion of control and to place your trust in divine timing. Patience is one of the most difficult spiritual virtues to develop because it demands faith in what you cannot yet see. Chosen ones are often given glimpses, visions of their purpose or their future. But the road to those visions is rarely fast or smooth. You may find yourself wondering, why is this taking so long? Why does everything feel stalled? But here's the truth. Patience is not passive. It is the sacred ground where transformation takes root. The waiting period isn't empty. It's the space where you are being shaped, refined, and strengthened for what's to come. This test shows up in many forms. Maybe you're pursuing a goal that constantly feels just out of reach. Or you're standing at a crossroads, longing for clarity about the next step, while life offers only silence. It can feel like time is standing still, pressing you to confront your own impatience, your frustrations, your doubt. Yet the purpose behind it is clear: to remind you that your timing is not the universe's timing. And that's not a flaw, it's a design. How do you pass the test of patience? First, surrender your timeline. Let go of rigid expectations and understand that the universe is not withholding your destiny, it is arranging it perfectly. Delays are not denials. They are invitations to evolve. Second, anchor yourself in the present moment. Patience grows when you shift your focus from the future to the now. When you choose to find meaning, peace, and even joy in the current chapter of your journey. Use this space to nurture your spiritual life, strengthen your mindset, and sharpen your gifts. Lastly, embrace trust. Trust that everything is unfolding in divine order. Trust that what is meant for you will never miss you, and that when the right time arrives, it will come with undeniable clarity and alignment. Patience is not about simply waiting. It's about becoming. It's about preparing your heart, your soul, and your mind to carry the magnitude of what you've been called to do. Pass this test, and when your moment finally arrives, you will meet it not with desperation, but with power, grace, and full alignment. Test 6. The test of integrity. Staying true to your soul's compass. The test of integrity is a defining moment in the spiritual journey of every chosen one. It's not merely a matter of being honest. It's a profound challenge to remain loyal to your values, your inner truth, and your higher self, especially when doing so requires sacrifice. True integrity means living in alignment with your soul's purpose, even when the world tempts you to compromise for convenience, recognition, or material gain. This test often arises when you're offered something appealing on the surface, an opportunity, a relationship, or a shortcut, but with conditions that conflict with your spiritual path. You may find yourself at a crossroads, asked to make decisions that weigh your commitment to truth against the lure of ease or reward. Will you remain rooted in who you are, or will you drift for the sake of approval or comfort? The test of integrity isn't about being flawless. It's about being authentic. It means choosing what is right, even when it's uncomfortable or unpopular. For many chosen ones, this test feels like walking a tightrope. The world often applauds those who cut corners or betray their principles for success. You may face moments when staying true to your values leads to isolation, the loss of relationships, missed opportunities, or financial hardship. These moments are undeniably painful, but they are also sacred. They mold your strength, deepen your clarity, and solidify your spiritual authority. So how do you pass this test? Begin by grounding yourself in your values. Reflect deeply on what truly matters to you, not what society expects, but what your soul affirms. Clarity here becomes your compass in difficult times. Next, resist the quiet rationalizations that creep in. The ego may whisper, "Just this once," or "No one will know." But remember, your soul always knows. Acting out of alignment may bring temporary relief, but it creates inner dissonance that distances you from your true self. Most importantly, trust that integrity never goes unnoticed by the universe. Even when the rewards are not immediate or visible, they are profound. Living in integrity invites authentic abundance, deep peace, and spiritual alignment into your life. It attracts what truly belongs to you, things built on truth, not illusion. The test of integrity calls you to place your spiritual truth above external pressure. When you pass it, you become a living embodiment of authenticity, an example to others of what it means to stand firm in one's values. Through this steadfast commitment, you rise into your full role as a chosen one, guided not by fear or approval, but by the unshakable light of your own soul. Test 7. The Test of Purpose. Embracing your soul's mission. The test of purpose is one of the most deeply personal and soul-stirring challenges a chosen one will encounter. It often begins as a quiet, persistent whisper within, "Why am I here?" This question becomes a sacred invitation, pushing you to search, to question, and ultimately to embrace the unique mission your soul was sent to fulfill. But this test is not only about discovering your purpose. It's about having the strength to live it, especially when the path ahead feels unclear, daunting, or overwhelming. Chosen ones are often born with an inner knowing that they are meant for something greater. Yet clarity about what that something greater actually is rarely arrives all at once. Instead, this test often presents itself through confusion, self-doubt, or a deep sense of being lost. You might wonder, am I on the right path? Or worry, what if I never discover why I'm here? These questions are not signs that you've failed. They are catalysts. They are the tools the universe uses to guide you back to your truth. This challenge becomes even more intense when your purpose appears to clash with societal expectations or the dreams others have projected onto you. You may feel called to walk one way, while the world demands you move in another. And though your calling stirs your spirit, fear may still grip your heart. Fear of judgment, failure, or not being enough. But the test of purpose is not just about identifying your mission. It's about having the courage to honor it. So how do you pass this sacred test? First, quiet the external noise. Your purpose doesn't announce itself with thunder. It whispers in the stillness. Give yourself time for reflection, meditation, or prayer so you can hear the subtle guidance within. What activities spark your joy? What gifts come naturally to you? How might those gifts serve and uplift others? Your purpose often lives at the intersection of what you love, what you excel at, and how you can help the world heal or grow. Second, let go of the need to get it all perfect. Living your purpose is not about flawless execution. It's about showing up authentically. Begin with small steps, even if you're unsure where they'll lead. Clarity is born through movement, not hesitation. Every action, no matter how minor, brings you closer to your truth. And finally, trust the unfolding. Your purpose will grow and evolve alongside you. The universe tends to reveal your mission gradually, offering you each new piece when your soul is ready to receive it. Be patient. Be faithful. What you're seeking is already seeking you. The test of purpose invites you to claim your sacred role in the divine tapestry of life. When you pass it, you gain not only direction, but deep fulfillment, knowing that you are finally walking the path your soul was always meant to take. Test 8. The test of detachment. Letting go to rise higher. The test of detachment is among the most difficult yet transformative spiritual challenges a chosen one will encounter. It demands that you release not only material possessions, but also relationships, beliefs, and identities that no longer support your soul's evolution. Detachment is not about surrendering or giving up. It's about relinquishing the need to control, to cling, or to define yourself by external circumstances. It's about freedom. And yet, this test often arrives at the most unexpected times. You may be called to let go of something, or someone, you deeply cherish. It might be a relationship that feels safe but keeps you stuck, a career that offers stability but suffocates your spirit, or a long-held belief that no longer reflects your expanding truth. What makes this test so painful is the fear that loss brings. But true detachment isn't about loss. It's about creating space for something more aligned with your highest self. This is not a trial of endurance. It is a test of faith. The universe cannot deliver new blessings into hands clenched tightly around what no longer serves you. Detachment asks you to loosen that grip, to trust that what is truly yours will remain, and what isn't will move aside to make room for your growth. How do you pass the test of detachment? Start by recognizing that attachment often originates from fear. Fear of scarcity, fear of change, fear of the unknown. When resistance arises, ask yourself, am I holding on because this truly nourishes me, or because I'm afraid of what letting go might mean? The second step is gratitude. Detachment doesn't mean denying the value of what you release. It means honoring it, recognizing the role it played in your journey, and letting it go with love, not resentment. Lastly, lean into trust. The universe never asks you to release something without preparing something greater in return. Detachment is not about forfeiting your future. It's about aligning with it. When you embrace this sacred release, you allow yourself to flow with the divine rhythm of life. And in that flow, you will find freedom, clarity, and peace. Pass this test, and you'll realize that detachment is not an end. It is a powerful beginning, a gateway to living with grace, alignment, and spiritual abundance. Test 9. The test of trust in the divine. Faith when the path is hidden. The test of trust in the divine is one of the most profound and humbling challenges a chosen one will face. It calls you to relinquish logic, release control, and surrender certainty, to step fully into faith. This test often arrives in the darkest moments, when nothing seems to make sense, when carefully laid plans unravel, and when you're left with no choice but to rely on something greater than yourself. To trust in the divine is to believe that there is a higher purpose and a sacred plan, even when the road ahead is clouded by doubt and uncertainty. It's easy to trust when life flows effortlessly, but this test pushes you in the moments when everything feels chaotic, stagnant, or broken. The universe whispers, "Will you still trust me when you cannot see the way forward? Will you hold on to faith when your heart feels lost and your mind questions everything?" This test typically arises at pivotal crossroads, when you're faced with decisions or circumstances whose outcomes are entirely out of your hands. In these moments, it may feel as though you've been abandoned or forgotten. But this is not abandonment, it is divine realignment. To trust in the divine is to stop forcing outcomes and start allowing grace to unfold. So how do you pass this test? Begin by surrendering your desire for control. Recognize that your perspective is limited, while the divine operates from infinite wisdom. Surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means releasing resistance and placing your life into the hands of a higher intelligence. Next, build trust through small, consistent acts of faith. Begin to notice the synchronicities and subtle blessings in your daily life. These seemingly minor moments are reminders that the universe is always listening, always guiding. Practice stillness. Trust becomes clearest in quiet reflection. Through meditation, prayer, or moments of solitude, you reconnect with the sacred presence within and around you. Finally, remember your past. Think back to the moments when, even amid uncertainty, everything eventually aligned. Times when the universe showed up for you in ways you didn't expect. These memories are your proof. The test of trust in the divine is not about having all the answers. It is about anchoring yourself in faith, especially when certainty vanishes. Pass this test, and you will find an unshakable peace. The quiet knowing that the universe is always conspiring for your highest good, even in the silence, even in the storm. Test 10. The Test of Love. Embodying unconditional grace. The test of love is the highest spiritual challenge a chosen one must endure. It goes far beyond romance or affection. It is a call to embody pure, unconditional love. This is love that rises above personal desire, ego, and circumstance. It is the kind of love that asks you to give freely, to remain open, and to hold compassion even when it feels hardest to do so. This test demands that you love without limits, without guarantees, and sometimes without being loved in return. It is a test of the heart's courage and the soul's truth. Often the test of love comes in the form of hardship. You may encounter people who hurt, betray, or disappoint you. You may be called to show compassion to those who test your boundaries or beliefs. Or perhaps you are faced with the deepest struggle of all, learning how to love yourself in your moments of shame, failure, or doubt. This test is not about flawless execution. It is about sacred intention. The universe gently asks, can you love purely, without conditions? Can you offer and receive love not for validation, but as a reflection of the divine within? For chosen ones, love is the cornerstone of their soul's mission. Whether you are a healer, a teacher, or a guide, your calling is to serve as a vessel of divine love in the world. But before you can extend this love outward, you must become it within. So how do you pass the test of love? Begin with self-love. You cannot truly give love from a place of emptiness. Self-love is not ego. It is a recognition of your divine worth. Speak to yourself with tenderness. Offer yourself the grace and patience you would readily give to someone you deeply cherish. Next, cultivate empathy and forgiveness. Love is not blind. It sees truth clearly, yet still chooses compassion. Forgiveness is not about excusing harm, but about releasing yourself from the bondage of pain. Empathy allows you to recognize the sacred in every soul, even in those who cause harm out of their own unhealed wounds. Finally, love with freedom. True love does not cling, control, or demand. It liberates. It allows others to be themselves, to grow at their own pace, and to walk their own path, even if it means walking away. The test of love is a divine invitation to vibrate at the highest frequency of the soul. Pass this test, and you will become a radiant force in the world, one who uplifts, heals, and transforms, not by words alone, but by the presence of your love. And in giving this love, you'll find it flowing back to you in ways deeper and more abundant than you ever imagined. Trust the unfolding, no matter how slow or difficult it seems, because each test passed is another layer of awakening, another step toward the mission your soul came here to fulfill. Move forward with courage and clarity. Carve out moments of stillness. Celebrate even the smallest milestones. And above all, shine your light. The world is in need of awakened souls, those brave enough to lead, to love, and to heal. Remember, this journey is not a race. It is a sacred becoming. Trust the timing, honor the lessons, and embrace the beauty of who you are becoming. You are chosen, not because it's easy, but because it's divine. Step forward in faith. The universe walks beside you. And now, your journey truly begins. Go forth, shine bright. The world is waiting for you. You've now journeyed with me through the 10 sacred spiritual tests that only the chosen ones encounter and overcome. These are not mere challenges. They are divine initiations, each one crafted to awaken your soul, strengthen your spirit, and align you with your highest calling. But make no mistake, the path doesn't end here. In truth, it is just beginning. The journey of the chosen is a lifelong unfolding, a continuous rhythm of growth, revelation, and spiritual transformation. To be chosen is not to be perfect. It is to be unwavering in your commitment to rise again and again after every fall. It means allowing each hardship to teach you, each trial to refine you, and every step to draw you closer to your divine purpose. These tests of isolation, betrayal, recurring patterns, humility, patience, integrity, purpose, detachment, trust, and love are not punishments. They are sacred blessings, disguised as struggle, designed to shape you into the soul you were sent here to become. So pause, reflect. How many of these trials have already crossed your path? Which ones are you navigating in this very moment? Perhaps you're in the quiet ache of isolation, beginning to recognize the sacred silence within it. Or maybe you're surrendering to the test of trust, learning to release control and let the divine lead. Whatever your place on this path, know this truth deeply. You are exactly where you need to be. And here's the most profound reminder. You are never truly alone. Though the journey of the chosen can feel solitary, others are walking their own sacred paths alongside you. The universe chose you not because you are flawless, but because you are ready. Ready to grow, ready to heal, ready to rise. To embrace this path is to embrace your transformation. It is to see life's challenges not as detours, but as sacred rites of passage, each one leading you closer to the embodiment of your divine self.